You know, if there's one place in the world I would love to live, would be South Africa. I mean, the weather, the climate, everything we have is just unbelievable. Unfortunately, the job doesn't allow that. It's the bad thing about playing golf, being away from home the whole time and sitting in hotel rooms. That's the worst part. It's tough on the family side, and what's good for me is being happy, yeah, and try and enjoy what I have in life at the moment. That's sort of where I grew up. Wildlife is obviously amazing. I mean, the kids know most of the animals now already, and I think they can learn so much traveling around the world.
Yeah, we're going over the big bump. Hold on.
Leo's very good at driving the game truck. And I remember learning to drive like that myself from when I was that big. You know, my grandfather's farm, sitting behind the wheel driving, and he didn't see me spinning his car around in the dust. It's just a different feeling, sitting there at night listening to all the animals crying away, and it's definitely my place of getting away from golf. No TV, no phones, it's just the way I want it. I can't wait for the end of the year to come around, go down there and open the doors and just get the wildlife into the house. Welcome to my house at Sabula Game Reserve, and let's take a little tour of the house and see what it looks like. Let's go inside. When we started building the house in Sabula, I was quite keen on getting quite involved in the design. It's something from when I went to school. It was always something that was in my mind, drawing plans of houses and buildings and all that kind of stuff. All the living areas are sort of blended into one big living space. Come here, let's show it in the big table. This is probably the heart of the house. This is where we also spend a lot of time playing a bit of pool. A great view from on top here overlooking the game reserve. Even during construction I changed a lot of things inside the way I wanted to, and given my ideas the way I want to see it. So that was a lot of fun being so involved with the design of the house.
Perfect. That's perfect. The colours here are just so different. Everything's much more bright and beautiful, and he can just really relax here. It's what he definitely needs, and that's the great thing about the children, that it'll make him switch off.
And it's pretty active now, the kids. I mean, they're that age now that you just got to do something constantly, and I think they learn so much too.
You're a good caddy, Leo.
I'm so happy that I can somehow get the kids to grow up the way I grew up.
In the beginning, when we started playing golf and he started to tag along, we always used to think, let the big boys play and you can carry the bag, that type of thing. Obviously, today we'd like to carry the bag. So, it's changed a lot. We used to play golf in the bush, literally, from tree to tree. We just put a little stone down there to say, okay, that's the hole.
He was in love with the game, and he was prepared to face everything and anything, and we would get on his bicycle with his set of clubs on the back and drive down to the golf course a kilo away, and he'll go and play 9 holes or so and then come back. He had an absolute discipline.
We used to have a practice net at the outside of the house, and I used to hit balls in it 10 o'clock at night, There wasn't any golf on TV really, so you try and copy what's in a book. And I learned my golf out of Jack Nicklaus' Golf My Way book and Tom Watson's book and Ben Hogan's book. That's how I learned my golf.
When you look at Retief's swing, I mean, the great thing about it is that he has a wonderful setup to the ball. He's got very soft hands, and obviously that helps with his putting in the short game. And I think the biggest thing, if you look at Retief, is how huge his turn is. Just an amazing shoulder turn, which creates tremendous torque. And so he has the ability to swing easy and hit hard. He's kept it very simple through the years. I mean, he's done this on his own.
My first impression upon seeing him in America is like, you couldn't help but be impressed by his athleticism, his grace, how big he was, how smoothly he swung, how far he hit it, what great touch he had. There was an eye on him because he was a big guy and he looked like kind of out of Ernie's mold. He looked just very poised, almost zen-like. I guess that was my impression of him.
How about this? How about, oh my! Like that. Retief Goosen to 5 under par. That's where you want to putt from, John, right there.
A lot of these players have their families and friends here with them. Retief Goosen is really all alone.
I was leading an event. It was like, wow, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. And the week went on and I was leading and leading and leading.
Could be the shot that wins Retief Goosen the national championship.
The only time I really lost my concentration was on the 72nd hole.
So 2 putts for Retief Goosen to win this championship.
Really didn't focus at all on the first putt.
That was a little friskier than he had in mind, I can tell you that.
Well, there wasn't any real need to hit it 1.5 feet, 2 feet by the hole here now.
Whacked it past the hole and then misread the one coming back.
That one was beyond the pale.
And he's still not in.
It was like, no one's ever done that.
I think I felt the whole earth shook when I missed that putt. A lot of people were falling over. Apparently my dad too, he was, my mum thought he had a heart attack. I thought I had a heart attack.
To miss that putt, I just remember watching that and just being horrified. It's the kind of thing you have a nightmare about.
I don't think Retief himself knows what really happened, but he just pushed it a little bit, and then he had an even more longer putt than what he had for his second one.
I tell you what, I've never seen anything like it, Roger. Never, and he's got a tougher putt than he just hit.
You always go, God, if I'd ever done that, in front of all those people, I'd have to go run away and never show myself again. And he did that.
Unbelievable, and a guy that seemed so unflappable throughout the championship, and now this is just kind of a meltdown here.
I said to Greg, who was caddying for me at the time, what's going on here? And he just said to me, come on, let's focus, let's knock this putt in. The third putt was the hardest putt, and you just misread one coming back, and now you got to make a one to stay in the playoff.
That was the most important shot of the whole tournament.
Now he's in. But he drops to 4 under. And Mark Brooks is in a playoff.
For someone to have thrown something away so severely, to look as though he had just gotten a breakfast order where he asked for his eggs over easy and they brought him too firm. He was unbothered by it.
I mean, he 3-putted from 10 feet with 2 putts to win the U.S. Open. And on the last green, in front of everybody, with everything clearly on the line. And it was like, well, he's toast. He's going to turn to jello tomorrow.
Welcome to the playoff round for the 101st United States Open Championship between Retief Goosen of South Africa and Mark Brooks of Fort Worth, Texas.
For me, it's all about winning. I seem to play my best golf when I'm under pressure, and not really when it doesn't count.
So this 18-hole playoff is underway.
The following day, I just knew I had one guy to beat.
Solid as a rock. Retief Goosen with a par at the 3rd. Oh, good shot. Good shot. Well stroked. Good result.
I can tell you, just by having a good golf swing, just by being a long hitter, it's not going to make you a champion.
It's what's between the ears and knowing how to win.
Right in the middle.
He has made everything he's looked at today.
That will be the lead for Goosen with 2 holes to play.
That was amazing. That was incredible. I thought he had no chance the next day. I think that was one of the great demonstrations of poise and toughness and the ability to forgive yourself and move on.
There it is, Retief Goosen from South Africa, the 2001 U.S. Open champion.
I'll never forget how he overcame that. To me, that's as bad as anyone's ever done and had to come back the next day, and as well as anyone's ever done in reaction to it.
There have been comebacks in this championship, but this sport, I don't think, has ever witnessed a comeback like this from choke to champ, Retief Goosen.
Suddenly he's emerged, and suddenly he's a major championship winner. And there was this huge, silent man with this magnificently flowing swing. And you thought to yourself, my God, I mean, he could win everything. But then he never said anything.
I don't really show my true character on the golf course. The media and everybody else sort of always say the quiet guy in golf and whatever, but I'm a different man when I'm off the golf course.
Journalists like to package people. We like to say, oh, he's a character, he's not so much of a character, but he's terribly good at this, he's such and such, he's someone else. Well, the thing about Retief is he's very hard to put into a category, except that he's very quiet.
Agent Zero, I think, is what one of the caddies called him.
You can scarcely tell from his face whether he's had a 3 on a par 5 or a 5 on a par 3.
He is always determined. I think you just cannot see it always in the pictures, but the mind is always working. He's determined, but he always remains humble.
When we sit down and have barbecues and a couple of glasses of wine and that, he's got a great sense of humor, and you know, you always have a fantastic time, and he's actually never short of conversation.
He loves to laugh, he's jovial, he can tell a good joke, and that's a side that the public don't normally see.
We see somebody who's just a blank canvas, and he knows he's got more than that, and I think he's quite proud of being able to fool everybody.
South Africa, along with France and Italy, great wine areas in the world. And if you like to drink wine, it's fun to have your own wine.
My parents have had the wine and they say it is incredible, so you know, I'm looking forward to getting my lips on it.
I drink the stuff, I love it, and if they want to do it, that's fine by me.
A lot of the wine experts down in Stellenbosch is talking about this wine farm up in a mountain area near George, and it is different to Stellenbosch.